Hello, hello, hello. This video is going to be me making that Rainmaker game that we've been doing in class. I'm going to stumble through it and I'm going to try to break this up into sections in the way that I would build this. Makes sense to you? So let's get started. So the whole point of the Rainmaker game is we've got droplets falling down the screen and a bucket. This can be anything, but we're going to call them drops. We're going to call them buckets at the bottom to catch them. And they're in the way I'm doing it, there's a timer. And at the end of a certain amount of time, your score is how many drops you got into the bucket. And we're doing this by creating objects by writing classes. So let's start. The first step to this is let's just get some drops moving down the screen. But we want to do that through by writing the class that creates an object. So let's say I'm going to make a class drop. Okay. And so now whenever we call this class, we'll get a new drop object. We're probably going to make about 5 of them. And each drop is going to need to have an X, a Y, a width, and a height. So let's start there. And so since it's a class, we need to have a constructor. And, oh, I totally did this wrong. I do this all the time. This doesn't go there. This goes here. The constructor is the one that takes in the parameters. Okay. Now we've got to transfer these temporary variables over. This dot x equals x. This dot y equals y. This dot w equals w. Okay, so far so good. All right. We also need this to show up on the screen. We need to give this a method to draw. So I'm going to call it render. And it will draw a circle, an ellipse at this dot x, this dot y, this width, this dot height. Oh, hello, that wasn't right. Okay, so we don't know where these drops are going to be at any point in time. That's why we write a class, so the class can handle all that for us. The objects are going to keep track of themselves. We just need to tell them to have an x and a y and a width and a height. Now this is all great if we wanted just one circle to just sit on the screen in one spot, but well, let's actually make that happen first before we do anything else. So I've got a drop that draws a circle, a class called drop that draws a circle. Let's see if we can actually see that circle. So I'm going to say var drop 1, and then declare it up there. I have to initialize it here. Drop 1 equals new drop, and I'm going to tell it to be at 100, and 20 by 20 size, the diameter. Okay, test this. We don't see anything because we created the drop, but we never actually told it to render. And we want to do that inside the draw loop. So we're going to say drop 1 dot render, and we don't, oh, I'm seeing this. Yay, that's good. That's great. Okay. Cool. So we got one drop sitting there on the screen. What we wanted to do is move down the screen. And we wanted to move down the screen, but we don't want to, see, think about this. You want drops to constantly be moving down the screen. But we can't just keep making objects over and over and over and over and over. I mean, we can, but we haven't really gotten to that point yet. But there's an easy way to do this. What if we just made 5 of them and spaced them out, and then when they got past the bottom of the screen, they went back up to the top again. So it appears like they're constantly going by, but there's really only 5 of them. You know, like in old Looney Tunes where Bugs Bunny runs by the same mountain like 5 times. Yeah. So we need to, first let's make a way to move this down the screen before we worry about that, resetting it back at the top. So let's say we'll call it move. Give it a method to move. And, oh, we need, what else do we need here? We actually need a speed for this. So I'm going to, you know what, I'm going to, yeah, let's say x, y, width, height, and then we'll pass in a speed. And that means we'll need to get this dot speed. Okay, so we have one more variable, so we'll need to give it a speed up here. And I'll say 2. Okay. So here's where we can say where we want to adjust the x. So in the move function, we'll say take the x, no, not the x, the y, and add it on, add on speed to move it down the screen. This dot y plus equals, meaning this dot y equals this dot y plus speed. So plus equals speed. This dot speed, sorry, this dot speed. All right. Let's see what happens. Nothing. What did I do wrong? Oh, we never called it. Drop 1 dot move. No. What's that? Stop, stop. What's that noise? Script error line 0 var drop 1 dot move. Sorry about that. I figured out what it was. I had this dot speed, but I had this, but I didn't make it equal anything. So now this works. And I don't know what that sound was. That was weird. Okay, so we've got a drop going down. So let's see. First thing to do is we want our drops to start from the top. So right now I'm starting the drop at 100, x of 100, that's fine, but a y of 100, which places it right about here. I want it to come in from the top. So let's start it at negative 100. Now it comes down from the top. Awesome. Okay. Now the next thing is I want it to reset again back to the top after it goes past the bottom. So let's say we'll give this a function of reset. So each drop will have its own method or function inside of it called reset. And what that'll do is it will check to see if it's gone beyond the screen. So if this dot y is greater than the height, reset this dot y equals, and I'm going to give it kind of a random value so that it doesn't start out at the same place each time it resets. So not width. So I'm going to move the x. I'm going to say width. This dot x equals random you know, somewhere within the horizontal part of the screen. And then this dot y will say random -20, just so to make sure it's a, but well, how wide are these? Let's see, -50, wait, I gotta write random, -50 and negative 1,000. So somewhere up in there, we don't really know where. We'll kind of space them out because we're going to make more than one of these. We don't want a predictable pattern. So on reset, let's make sure that's working. Okay, it's not going to do it yet because we haven't called reset. So up here, move render reset. Drop 1.reset. Done. Okay. Wait for it. There it goes. There's another one. And it's going to have a different X, and it's going to have a different timing. Like, when is it going to appear? Right away? No, not right away. Okay, so great. So we've got it. We've got drops going down the screen. Let's before I end this, let's make 5 of them, and watch how fun this is. Okay, drop 2, drop 1, drop 2, drop 3, drop 4, drop 5, and then now we got to do this each time. Actually, you know what? Let's do what we did down here, where we just place them in randomly up, way up at the top, so that we get a difference every time. So that when I create each drop, it'll be somewhere there, and it'll be somewhere here, but it'll be different each time. Copy. I'm going to make a variable for the size of the drops. I'm going to say var drop size equal, I'm going to go a little bit smaller, 10 or 15, so that I can add that there, just in case I want to change it later. I don't have to change it 10 times. And I'm going to say var drop speed. So if I want to control the speed later on, I can do that. I'm going to speed up a little bit, 3, then I'll use that over here, there. So for every new drop, it's going to have a random place up here somewhere. It'll be this size, and it'll go that fast. And so now, let's make 5 of them. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Let's just make sure that's okay. Yep, okay. And then here on here, I've got to do this 5 times. Fun. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, bear with me. 2, 3, 3. Okay, stop. Play. Is it gonna work? Yay! Look at that. It's raining. You just can't predict where they're gonna come down. It's raining. We made it rain. Okay, I'm gonna stop this video here. In the next one, we will make the bucket at the bottom and start picking up the drops. Okay, bye-bye.